The courtroom was packed. Every seat was taken, and the media section overflowed with reporters, notebooks ready, cameras clicking. This wasn't just any trial. This was Elon Musk, back in court, and no one wanted to miss a second of it. Judge Beatrice Thornwald looked over the case file in front of her. The details were straightforward, at least on paper. Musk Innovations was suing Titan Dynamics for corporate sabotage. Her fingers tapped lightly against the bench as she studied Musk. Why was he alone? Again, the last time he had stepped into her courtroom without an attorney, it had been a disaster for everyone but him. That case had started as a joke and ended with Musk obliterating his opponent with airtight evidence they never saw coming. She wouldn't underestimate him this time. Across the aisle, Richard Gaines, the CEO of Titan Dynamics, leaned back in his chair, adjusting his designer watch. His lead attorney, Thomas Whitaker, smirked as he organized his stack of neatly printed legal documents. The defense team had come prepared, with an army of lawyers and mountains of evidence. They weren't just here to win. They were here to crush Musk. Judge Thornwald cleared her throat and straightened her robe. She tapped her gavel. Case number 2031, Civi 992. Musk Innovations versus Titan Dynamics. Mr. Musk, you are representing yourself. Musk adjusted his cuff, offering a slight nod. Yes, Your Honor. A murmur spread through the room. Someone in the gallery let out a quiet chuckle. The same mistake twice? Whitaker shook his head with a smirk, whispering to Gaines, "This will be over before lunch." Judge Thornwald's eyes remained locked on Musk. She wasn't so sure. She turned to the defense. "Mr. Whitaker, you may proceed with your opening statement." Whitaker stood with an air of practiced confidence, buttoning his suit jacket. His voice carried the weight of someone who believed he had already won. "Your Honor, this case is built on a foundation of fiction. Mr. Musk claims Titan Dynamics engaged in corporate espionage, but we have the patents, we have the timelines, and we have the evidence to prove otherwise. This lawsuit is nothing more than a publicity stunt from a man who fears competition." He paused for effect, letting his words sink in. The defense team sat back, satisfied. Judge Thornwald turned to Musk. "Mr. Musk, your opening statement?" All eyes locked on him. Musk stood slowly. He didn't carry the same polished presence as Whitaker, nor the expensive suit Gaines wore. Instead, he walked with an unsettling calm, pulling out a few wrinkled papers from his pocket. The defense exchanged glances. Musk shuffled his pages, glanced at them, then back up. For a second, he hesitated. Laughter rippled through the gallery. Someone whispered, "This is going to be embarrassing." Judge Thornwald sighed. She had seen this before, arrogant billionaires thinking they could navigate the legal system like a boardroom deal. Musk took a slow breath. Then he smiled. "Your Honor," he said, voice even and confident. "Before I begin, I'd like to submit something into evidence." The room fell silent. Judge Thornwald arched an eyebrow. "Excuse me?" Musk stepped forward and placed a sealed envelope on the evidence table. "Something tells me this might change everything." The courtroom held its breath. The tension inside the courtroom thickened. The sealed envelope sat untouched on the evidence table, its contents unknown. Judge Beatrice Thornwald studied Musk carefully. "Mr. Musk," she said, voice sharp, "do you intend to tell this court what exactly is in that envelope, or are we supposed to guess?" Musk tilted his head slightly, as if considering his words carefully. "I'd prefer to let the defense present their case first," he said casually, stepping back. "I wouldn't want to interrupt their confidence." A few chuckles rippled through the courtroom. Whitaker, the lead defense attorney, scoffed, standing up. "Confidence isn't an issue here, Your Honor," he said, straightening his tie. "But time is. Let's not waste it." Judge Thornwald nodded. "Proceed." Whitaker turned to face the jury, walking with the practiced ease of a man who had argued and won cases worth billions. "Ladies and gentlemen," he began, "this lawsuit is not about innovation. It's about paranoia. Mr. Musk's company, Musk Innovations, has been left behind in the race for AI-powered energy solutions. Instead of competing fairly, He has resorted to baseless accusations, hoping to slow my client down. His voice rose slightly, commanding attention. We have concrete proof that Titan Dynamics developed its energy system long before Musk Innovations even announced their prototype. We have patents. We have records. We have evidence. And when we present it all, this case will be over. Whitaker turned, nodding toward a large screen set up beside the judge's bench. If I may, Your Honor? Judge Thornwald waved a hand. Proceed. The courtroom lights dimmed, and the screen lit up with a presentation slide. The Titan Dynamics logo flashed across the screen as Whitaker clicked to the first image. A patent document, dated months before Musk's accusations. This is Titan Dynamics' legally filed patent, he said, pointing at the timeline displayed next to it. And here, he clicked to the next slide where another document appeared, is Musk Innovations' first public mention of their so-called breakthrough. Our design predates theirs. Murmurs filled the room. The evidence looked damning. Whitaker glanced at Musk, expecting to see frustration. Instead, Musk was leaning back in his chair, watching quietly, arms crossed. Judge Thornwald caught that detail. Why wasn't he reacting? Whitaker moved on, clicking through more slides, diagrams, research dates, product testing logs. The narrative seemed clear. Titan Dynamics had beaten Musk to the finish line. When he finished, he flashed a confident smile. The facts are in front of you, he said, turning to the jury. Musk's accusations are nothing more than an attempt to control the industry through legal intimidation. This is a waste of the court's time. Judge Thornwald nodded. Thank you, Mr. Whitaker. Mr. Musk, your response. The courtroom shifted its attention to Musk. He stood unhurriedly, adjusting his jacket. Musk walked forward, stopping at the evidence table. He picked up the sealed envelope. Your Honor, he said, tapping it against his palm. Titan Dynamics just made a mistake. Whitaker's expression flickered, just for a second. The judge frowned. What kind of mistake, Mr. Musk? Musk tore open the envelope and slid a single sheet of paper across the table. Judge Thornwald picked it up and read the first line. Her eyes narrowed. Then she looked at Whitaker. Mr. Whitaker, she said slowly, would you care to explain this? The defense team stiffened. Whitaker stepped forward, eyes locked on the paper in the judge's hands. Your Honor, I'm not sure what Mr. Musk is trying to. Enough. The judge cut him off. She turned the paper around and held it up. It was a Titan Dynamics internal memo, dated weeks before their patent had been filed. The subject line? Prepare countermeasures. Musk Innovations has the lead. The entire courtroom fell into stunned silence. Musk folded his arms. Like I said, he said smoothly, they made a mistake. The courtroom was frozen in stunned silence. The memo in Judge Thornwald's hands was damning. Prepare countermeasures. Musk Innovations has the lead. A document from Titan Dynamics' own records, dated before they even claimed to have developed their so-called original energy system. Judge Thornwald set the paper down carefully. Her gaze flicked from Musk to Whitaker. Mr. Whitaker, she said, her voice sharp. Would you like to explain this document? Whitaker adjusted his tie, but for the first time he hesitated. Gaines, the CEO of Titan Dynamics, leaned over, whispering furiously in Whitaker's ear. His face was turning red. This wasn't supposed to happen. Your Honor, Whitaker finally said, this document is taken out of context. It's internal brainstorming, not an admission of wrongdoing. Musk smiled slightly. Oh, really? He turned toward his own table, picking up a USB drive. If that's true, then Titan Dynamics shouldn't mind us taking a closer look at the rest of their internal discussions. Judge Thornwald sighed and leaned back in her chair. Mr. Musk, she said, rubbing her temple. What exactly are you about to show us? Musk stepped forward, calm, too collected. This, he said, plugging the USB into the courtroom's display system, is what they don't want you to see. The screen flickered to life. A series of emails appeared, all from Titan Dynamics executives. The courtroom gasped. Subject: urgent, Musk's AI prototype. Find out what he's working on. If we can't beat him, we copy him. Whitaker shot up from his chair. Objection. This is stolen evidence. Judge Thornwald turned to him coldly. Are you admitting the emails are real, Mr. Whitaker? Whitaker's mouth clamped shut. The courtroom was dead silent. Musk let the emails play one after another, each worse than the last. A complete blueprint of corporate theft. They had been caught. Gaines, the CEO, had gone pale. He clenched his jaw, staring straight ahead. Musk walked slowly toward the defense table, then stopped. For the first time, he looked directly at Gaines. I knew, Musk said simply. From the start. You weren't just competing. You were stealing. Gaines didn't blink. Judge Thornwald exhaled sharply, gathering herself. Mr. Whitaker, she said, voice firm. We will take a short recess. When we return, I expect a very good reason why I shouldn't consider serious legal consequences for your client. She slammed her gavel down. The courtroom doors swung open, and Richard Gaines stormed out, his polished confidence completely shattered. His team of lawyers followed closely, whispering in urgent tones. Musk, on the other hand, remained exactly where he was, casually flipping through a few papers as if the past 30 minutes hadn't just exposed one of the biggest corporate scandals in years. Judge Beatrice Thornwald stepped down from the bench and walked toward the clerk's desk. She rubbed her temple, trying to process what had just unfolded. Inside her chambers, she had seen plenty of corporate lawsuits, plenty of billion-dollar battles, but never had she seen a CEO so thoroughly outplayed in his own case. She straightened her robe, took a deep breath, and returned to the courtroom. The gavel slammed down. We're back in session, she announced. Her gaze locked onto Whitaker, who now looked like he had aged 10 years in the last 15 minutes. Mr. Whitaker, does the defense have anything to say regarding these documents? Whitaker stood slowly, hands pressed against the desk. Sweat glistened on his forehead. Your Honor, we object to this evidence on the grounds that it was, Musk cut in smoothly, obtained legally, via a subpoena issued last week. A quiet gasp rippled through the gallery. Judge Thornwald raised a brow. Subpoena? You mean you planned for this? Musk smiled. Not planned, just prepared. Whitaker slumped back into his chair. Gaines whispered something furiously in his ear, but it didn't matter. They were out of moves. Judge Thornwald turned to Musk. What exactly do you want from this court, Mr. Musk? Musk folded his arms. I want what's fair. He stepped toward the center of the courtroom, locking eyes with the jury. They didn't just compete with us. They stole from us. They lied, manipulated, and covered their tracks. If they walk away with a slap on the wrist, what stops the next company from doing the same thing? The jury listened intently. Even the spectators leaned forward, hanging on every word. I'm not asking for damages. I'm asking for accountability. Musk turned to Judge Thornwald. That's why I'm invoking the Anti-Competitive Sabotage Act of 2019. The courtroom erupted in whispers. Whitaker snapped up from his chair. Objection. This law has never been used in a case like this. Judge Thornwald raised a hand, silencing the room. She studied Musk carefully. Mr. Musk, she said, do you understand the consequences of what you're asking for? Musk nodded. If I rule in your favor, Titan Dynamics won't just lose this case. They will be banned from the AI energy sector for 10 years. That would effectively cripple their company. Musk's gaze never wavered. Then they should have played fair. Judge Thornwald leaned back in her chair, deep in thought. Then she spoke. Very well, she said. Court is adjourned for the day. Tomorrow, I will issue my final ruling. The gavel slammed down. Musk simply smiled. He had already won. Court was adjourned, but the damage had already been done. The courtroom doors swung shut, leaving behind a sea of whispers. The entire legal world was watching. For the first time in history, a billionaire had invoked a little-known law that could cripple one of the biggest tech companies in the industry. And there was nothing Titan Dynamics could do to stop it. The night before the verdict. Inside a dimly lit boardroom, Richard Gaines sat at the head of a long mahogany table. His legal team was exhausted, flipping through stacks of documents, looking for anything that could reverse the disaster unfolding before them. Whitaker, his lead attorney, pinched the bridge of his nose. "We need a deal. If the judge rules against us, Titan Dynamics is finished." Gaines slammed his fist against the table. "There's no deal. Musk is enjoying this." Silence. Then one of the junior attorneys hesitantly spoke. "There's only one option left." Gaines turned to him, his expression cold. "And that is?" The attorney swallowed. "We offer Musk everything he wants except the ban. A massive financial settlement, public apology, and a licensing deal to use his technology." Gaines scoffed. "He's not after money. Then we give him power," the attorney continued. "We offer to partner with Musk Innovations. Let him take a leadership role in AI energy development. He gets control, we survive. It's the only way out." For the first time that day, Gaines looked thoughtful. "Call him," he said. The final day in court. The next morning, the courtroom was even more packed than before. Journalists lined the back walls. Tech CEOs quietly took their seats, watching carefully. Judge Beatrice Thornwald entered, adjusting her robe. Her expression was unreadable. As everyone stood, Musk walked in, calm, composed, unreadable. Gaines and Whitaker sat stiffly, eyes locked on him. Judge Thornwald took a breath. "This court has carefully considered the evidence and arguments presented," she began, voice steady. "The claims made by Musk Innovations regarding corporate espionage and competitive sabotage have been proven beyond reasonable doubt." Gaines tightened his grip on the table. She continued, "Furthermore, the invocation of the Anti-Competitive Sabotage Act of 2019 is both relevant and justified in this case. As such, Titan Dynamics is hereby." The room went silent. The tension was unbearable. Gaines exhaled sharply, knowing what was coming. Barred from engaging in AI energy development for a period of 10 years. The courtroom exploded. Gasps, murmurs, even outright shouting broke out. Reporters rushed to type updates. Cameras clicked nonstop. Gaines went pale. He had lost, completely. Judge Thornwald raised her voice. "Furthermore, Titan Dynamics will pay $1.2 billion in damages to Musk Innovations, as well as all legal costs associated with this case." Musk remained still, expression unreadable. Gaines stood abruptly. "Your Honor, we request an appeal." Judge Thornwald turned to him sharply. "On what grounds?" Gaines opened his mouth, then closed it. He had nothing. Judge Thornwald picked up her gavel. "Then this court is adjourned." Bang. Titan Dynamics was finished. Musk turned, buttoning his jacket as he walked out. A reporter shouted after him, "Mr. Musk, will you comment on your victory?" Musk simply smiled. "No need," he said. "The ruling speaks for itself." The aftermath. Titan Dynamics stock crashed by 70% within hours. Gaines resigned the next morning. The case set a legal precedent, forever changing how corporate theft was handled in tech. But for Musk, this wasn't just about one lawsuit. It was about sending a message. "You can't steal from me," he had once said. "And if you try, you better be ready for what comes next." Rocket, the legend of Elon Musk in the courtroom, had just begun.